Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Good evening, everybody. I would like to welcome you all to the training workshop for Outstanding Nursery category in Sharjah Award for Education Excellency session 27. Inshallah, today we will explain on the nomination criteria and all the nomination form will be explained as well. Also, we will present as a best practice model for last year for the same category. By the end of the workshop, we will facilitate the question and answer, and also any category, any question you would like to ask. Inshallah, we have today we will be with Miss Sarah Al-Hammadi. She will start right now. تفضلي أستاذة سارة.
Thank you, Mr. Mahmoud. Welcome everybody. Good evening. As Mr. Mahmoud mentioned, today in our Outstanding Nursery Category Workshop for Sharjah Award for Educational Excellence, Session 27, for the academic year 2021, we will be explaining the nomination form. We will be explaining as well the standards of the category, as well as we will be viewing the rewards for the category and for all the categories as initial. So let's start. I hope that my voice is clear for everyone. Okay. This award is also supported by His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Muhammad Al Qasimi, ruler of Sharjah. So this is the vision of the award, establishing and constitutions a generation for pioneering national educational system. The mission is we seek to establish a consensus generation who are committed to their principles through the continuous improvement and development of educational system within a framework of competitive innovation and providing excellent services to society. So the timeline plan of the award, 27th academic year 2027-21. This is the first timeline plan. Basically, those are the dates of the program. The induction workshop, the submission of the application forms, all the dates are mentioned on your right side, and the announce of the winners for the 27th session. The award categories for this year will be as following. There are 12 categories, as you can see in our screen. Outstanding students category, outstanding school teacher project, nursery, students with special needs, special education teacher, parents council category, and family, applied educational researchers, educational leader category. Excuse me for not saying them in sequence, but today we are going to focus on outstanding nursery category. Those are the awards categories and the number of winners and the reward value of each. You will have them, and they are in the brochure of the award as well. You can visit the website to view them all. This is specifically the award categories. Nursery category, outstanding nursery category, first place. We have second place and third place. Each place will have one winner. The total is 3. and the first place will have 40,000 dirhams, and the second place will be having 30,000 dirhams, and the third one is 20,000 dirhams. The total is 90,000. Those are the awards for the other categories. Of course, in the race of excellence, there is no end line. As an introduction about our category, which is the outstanding nursery, basically the government and the UAE is keen on equipping children with positive values and behaviors, and empower them with the basic skills and providing equality of service, as they are the first building blocks in the society. Therefore, the award has allocated this category to highlight its in the field of developing tools and work environment and providing distinguished services to its to the nursery staff, kids, parents, and as well the society. Now we will be highlighting the general terms and conditions. Those are the 8 general conditions that you can find them also online on the website of the award. We will be skimming them very quickly to avoid to start with the standards. So all educational institutions, staff and students in educational fields in the UAE are qualified to apply for the award. Applicants shall comply with the conditions for the category in which he or she is applying for to participate. Applicants should adhere not to participate in another award during the same year or the same category. Applicant should adhere not to participate in more than one single category in the same session. Applicants should not have previously won one of the educational award in the same category before the end of the full session of the year of winning. The application to participate in the award must be through the School Education Council, Department of Education and Knowledge of Human Development authorities. These are the authorities that the application of the participant should be under those authorities. The application form for nomination or winning shall be cancelled if one of the evidence of documents submitted is found to be incorrect. All work submitted are considered the priority of the award, and the participants are not entirely to claim them. Those specific conditions regarding outstanding nursery category, also we will be skimming them very quickly to just start with the most important panel of our presentation today. You can find them as I told you, and okay. This is the application form, where also you can download it also from the website of the award. All the attachments, the application forms will be there. You can print them to have hard copies. Okay. We're gonna start, shall we start now with the standards? Mainly there are 7 standards. We will start with standard 1, administrative and financial management. These are the important standards that each nominated nursery should provide evidence for and documentation. So first is preparing a comprehensive strategic plan that adopts entrepreneurial and foresight thinking. So the nominated nursery is required to link the strategic plan to the strategy of its nursery authority. As I mentioned, those the authorities that we are the nominated nurseries are could be participating from Sharjah Educational Council, Sharjah Private Educational Authority, Ministry of Education, Abu Dhabi Early Childhood Authority. The nursery strategic plan core components should include a vision, a mission, values, long-term goals that input, risk, and challenges. Part B will be following up the implementation of plans and incentives. The nursery required to present 4 programs or projects with their achievement indicators. Also, evidence, documents, and decisions for the implementation of the professional plans are all required to be attached. With mentioning the core components, as we mentioned earlier, the vision, the mission, they are all should be clear and straightforward. Objectives and strategy, because the nursery is the operational extension that enable the nursery to achieve its vision and mission. Part C is preparing and developing the operational plan with innovative program and activities. Nurseries is required to submit the last 3 years operational plan and a copy of strategic plan associated with its authority. The authority has been mentioned earlier. Those last year 3 years operation plans should be innovative in regards to their programs and activities. They have to be the sense of creativity should be there. The nursery should explain the participation of parents, employees, and partners, if possible, in the development of the plans. What is their participation? What is their role of parents, employee of the nursery, and the partners of the nursery in regards of initiating this operational plan? Developing innovative solutions to meet administrative and educational challenges. The nursery should identify administrative and educational challenges that constantly occurring, that always occurring when they are planning in the perspective of administrative or educational. Explaining 5 innovative solutions and outstanding procedures applied to resolve the challenges. So the to be identified 5 innovative solutions addressing their impacts on the nursery staff and children. So the nursery will be providing 5 solutions, and they have to be addressing their impacts on the nursery staff and nursery children. The nursery is required also to submit evidence and documents to support and confirm the application of each implemented procedure. So each of the 5 solutions should be, the nursery should address the impact and then provide a documentation and evidence to support and confirm that solution. Innovative effort or actions in the provision of services. In order to present the services, the nursery should provide 6 innovative services provided to each targeted group. So we will be categorizing the groups to nursery staff. So the services that the nursery is providing its staff, students, the children in nursery, and their parents. Also, it has to explain each and applied services and the result of the application on each group. So the nursery is required to explain the applied services specifically and the result of application on each group. So what is the benefits the beneficiaries got from this service? Again, nurseries should be creative and in applying and thinking about the services that they are that has been provided to the parents and the other groups. Of course, attachment of evidence and documents is required by submitting letters of the beneficiaries, confirming the application of the intended services. For example, those you can just use them as example if you have initiated more different methods of collecting data. That would be amazing to include. So what we included is the advertising, e-social media accounts, surveys. So make sure that any of your data collection evidences you can just provide. Financial regulations and financial resources management. The nominated nursery provides proof of the existence of an electronic financial system for the income and expenses, an approved bank account, and the use of a financial editory on the accounts annually. So these elements should be in the submission of the form. And also the nursery is required to submit and explain 4 different and innovative methods used in organization and management of the financial resources. So again, 4 examples has to be provided. And the nursery to provide the financial budget of the nursery. Again, submission of evidence is required to confirm the methods, the method application. The financial resource development and rationalization of expenditure. The nursery is required to present 2 efforts and proposals to increase its financial resources and rationalize its expenses. So 2 efforts and proposals to increase the financial resources and to keep them maintained and sustainable. Again, creativity and innovation of the presented efforts are essential. Submitting also the supported evidence to prove the efforts is very important from the candidate nursery. We will move now to standard number 2, human resources management. We know that the manpower in the nursery, the staff are very important key to maintain a good standard nursery. And this award, the nursery that would like to be nominated required to provide a vocational development program for each of the following categories. We categorized the nursery staff into 3 main categories: administrative staff, educational staff, and technical staff. The professional development plan provided by the nursery should indicate the activities, training methods, plans according to the needs of each categories of the nursery staff. So activities, training methods are very important to be explained clearly to the needs of each category. The nursery is required also to present the development programs that have been applied during the last 3 years prior to the nomination year. So before the nomination year, before this year, the nursery should apply the last 3 years of the development programs that has been given to the nursery staff. The nursery to attach evidence of implementation, such as workshop, meetings, external readings, and etc. Of course, those are not those are just examples. You can extend your evidence implementation of implementation. Moving to the second point, evaluating employees' performance and employing results. The candidate nursery is required to identify 5 innovative mechanisms that applied in evaluating the performance of its employees in their different categories. So the earlier mentioned staff categories, the nursery should identify 5 creative mechanisms that applied in evaluating their performance. And also the required data should be explained clearly and refer in the form. So the form of the application, you have to refer to the data given by numbers. Evidence must be documented as an example by letters of the beneficiary and the type of benefits. So it could be the letters from the nursery staff with their what is the benefits that they gain from those performance evaluating. Moving to the third point, employees' performance development plans. The participating nursery should design plans based on the evaluation on its employees' performance. So once the evaluation of the employees' performance is done, the nursery is required to design a plan based on the results of the performance. So specifically the nursery required to submit 5 mechanisms of how to develop the performance of an employee and provide an explanation for each of the 5 mechanism results. A clear evidence and documentations again are required to be reflected on in the application form. Motivating and encouraging nursery staff. The nominated nursery is required to explain 5 methods used to motivate its employees. The nursery is to address the outcomes and impacts on the target group of each applied method. So after explaining the 5 methods to motivate the employees, the nursery are required to address the results and impacts of each applied method. Evidence must be documented, and as an example, again, letters from the beneficiary are and the type of benefits, it can be addressed here. Measuring the satisfaction of nursery workers. Of course, after evaluating the performance, providing the needful resources to develop the performance of nursery staff. And now the nursery should measure the satisfaction of nursery workers based on what they have been through and applied on. The nursery provide evidence on its measurement of the satisfaction of the worker productivity. The candidate nursery specifically, they have to mention tools used in measuring the employee satisfaction by providing, for example, survey forms, the results of the satisfaction study, and how the results of the analysis are used in the development of the work in the nursery. So these can be evaluation sheets, survey, as I told you, questionnaire might not be. And again, a clear evidence and documentations are required. Moving to standard 3, review and evaluation. The nursery are required to submit an evaluation of operational plans, such as meetings, evaluation sheets, reports, and reports explaining the evaluation of plans and the results associated with the evaluating those plans in the nursery for each year, the 3 mentioned year. So you can use any of these tools to show an evidence of submission evaluation of operational plans. Review and evaluate the performance, development, and results of the nursery. The nominated nursery conducts internal and external evaluation, defining the area of review and evaluation of the nursery performance in general. The nursery attached the improvement plan based on the results of the internal and external evaluation. List of strengths and opportunities for improvement. Those are evidence to provide and to compare best practices in the provision of these services. Of course, internal, external evaluation will be the internal evaluation will be by nursery staff, and external evaluation will be by parents and partners. So moving to standard number 4, which is the key point of the whole nursery, is development and care of children. There are 9 points in this standard, basically. Teaching and learning strategies applying to the nursery. Of course, each nursery and each nursery management is believing in specific teaching and learning strategies in early childhood. The nursery here is required to present the top 5 teaching and learning strategies applied in the nursery and their respective impact of children. So the nursery to provide an evidence of each of the 5 given strategies and their impacts on children. Support positive behavioral values. Of course, we have to focus on children positive behavioral values and to encourage them. The candidate nursery is required to specify 5 effective and applied activities and programs to support positive behaviors in children and their results. The results of the activities and programs applied. The nursery to provide evidence such as forms of programs, activities and surveys of parents who have benefited from the applied activities and programs on their children behaviors. Prevention and treatment of negative behaviors, as we have to highlight and nurturing the positive behavior, we have to treat the negative behavior. The nursery here should apply or require to highlight 2 major negative behaviors mentioned during her follow-up with children. So in the process of observing and evaluating children, 2 major negative behaviors monitored should be submitted here. Determining the activities and program applied by the nursery to prevent or address these negative behaviors. Again, the form of evidence needed here is the forms of programs, activities that has been established with children, and surveys of parents who have been considered as beneficiary from this implementation. Nursery programs and activities to develop and improve the performance of children and their results. So the nominated nursery is required to specify 3 programs and activities for each category, attach the evidence and some of the children's work needed. So each category, which means children categories and age group. Some of the children works will be submitted, and those score of each category with its program, activities, and the results of the programs and activities on children. Activities to promote belonging and national identity among children. Of course, as we are living here all in UAE from different backgrounds, different nationalities, different religion, we need the children to feel the belonging and the identity of the national identity that they're living in this environment all together. The nominated nursery is required to highlight 3 of the programs and activities that it's offering to promote national identity and its results. Evidence to be demonstrated could be by not only by work of children. Any example will be welcomed as long as it's highlighting and supporting the excuse me the point, which is the activities to promote national identity. Strengthening the Arabic language in children. So the nominated nursery is asked to explain its role in promoting the Arabic language through its diverse procedures of projects, activities, programs, and creative intensive that correspond to the specific to specify of the age group. Specifically, if the nursery will highlight each age group and their needs of the Arabic language as from the perspective of the nursery, and what is the activities and programs that has been applied to those children from that specific age group. Also highlighted by a range of measures such as activities, as we mentioned, programs aimed as teaching Arabic to children, who provide lists by their names, providing nursery services in Arabic, including the nursery website, documents in Arabic, guidelines and publications. Any of the measures that the nursery will be highlighting to support the implementation and the promoting of the Arabic language. The nursery will be required to mention 3 of intensives or programs and activities that their results are documented with clear and varied evidence and attachments. So as long as it's supported by evidence and documentation. Participation in various events. The nursery is required to highlight 5 occasions and each event 2 programs or 2 activities with the results of this participation determined. So the written and illustrated evidence confirming the implementation of these programs again, and the participation of children, mainly of all nationalities. And these events shall be provided and dated. Apply program and activities that enhance the quality of life and well-being of children. Again, the nursery is required to highlight 4 intensive programs and activities with the results of these intensive or program determined, illustrated or written evidence confirming the implementation will be very important for the children in the nursery, to enhance the quality of life and well-being of children in the nursery. The last point in this standard is growth development and health development assessment for the child. So basically, the nursery is required to monitor 5 procedures and its results. Each procedures and its results. The nursery is it's required to evaluate the child after observation and to monitor the progress of the child and the growth depending on their milestones. So 5 procedures that the nursery is taking in consideration to monitor that aspect is very important. The evidence is very important as well and essential for supporting the document. Standard number 5, safe and sustainable environment. The stimulating the children by their surrounding is very important key in their learning process. So first, building management, maintenance, and periodic maintenance is very important. The nursery explains its efforts in managing and maintaining its building, facilities, equipment, and its accordance with the standards and specifications of public sector and safety, security and safety, the listening body and the care of facilities. Everything that's all the facilities in the nursery should be taken in consideration to keep them clean, maintained all the time for the use of the children. For example, children bedrooms, toilets, classrooms, any kind of rooms that you're using them for different purposes, sourcing rooms, learning, outdoor, indoor facilities. So the nursery is required to highlight 10 of its efforts in managing its building and maintaining the building in a good condition, and it's to be characterized by excellence and creativity. So provide with evidence, photographs confirming its application. So the evidence will be by attaching photographs. Providing equipment and attractive environment. The nursery is required to explain 6 of the efforts made to provide the attractive environment for the children and a stimulating environment, indicating this with a written or illustrated attachments. Again, photographs, checklists, any of the examples that the nursery is using in practice, in real practice, to support this aspect. Application of security and safety standards and procedures. The candidate nursery is required to clarify 6 of the security and safety measures that the nursery is applying with the determination of the results of the application of those procedures to them. And to provide evidence such as transport contracts according to the standards of the license of the transport and the license of the nursery, of the emergency system, and how to communicate with the guardian, certificates of training on security and safety of female employees, a maintenance contract with the company supplying the control system, a copy of the civil defense certificates. Those are again are examples. Don't limit yourself to those examples. You can provide any evidence that shows the application of security and safety. Applying the standards of building friendly to the people of determination. So the nominated nursery should observe the standards of service for people or children with determination in terms of removing all barriers that interfere with the easy access to school, to nursery facilities, being mainly entrance, the corridors, the preparation of parking, buses, and the processing of toilets can be guided by you can use the standards of Ministry of Education, UNESCO, or UNICEF in this area. Always you can refer to those. Just to mention 6 procedures, and each procedures should be supported by evidence. Moving to the healthcare and nursery point, the candidate nursery works to prepare all the conditions and health requirements, anything related to health and all aspects, food preparation, hygiene, healthy meal. So the candidate nursery works to prepare all the conditions. Again, the nursery complies with the requirements of the healthy food in the event of preparations of food in the nursery, and parents are notified of those conditions if they provide meals, considering the availability of a healthy meal suitable for the child age. And the nursery is required to mentor 6 of its public healthcare procedures with the evidence of application and implementation. Environmental awareness. The nursery is required to provide activities and procedures such as workshops for parents that contribute to building their awareness among children. Staff could have meetings, workshop for parents, as I mentioned, activities that involves some fun facts about environmental awareness. It's limited to 4 activities or projects. The nursery may submit 4 activities. Moving to standard 6, relationship with parents. It's a very important aspect to link the home with nursery for the benefit of a child. Develop and use update communication channels with parents. Of course, now with this pandemic that we are all through, the channels of communication has been improved, has been updated. The candidate now, he should highlight 5 activities or programs of communication and the results of using those with parents. The nursery is required to provide written or illustrated evidence confirming the implementation of those programs, which are approved and dated. So any of the 5 activities that the nursery has applied and to employ the fact of communication with parents. Programs and activities for parents. The nominated nursery mentioned 6 programs and activities carried out to serve the families of the children, specifying the beneficiary and the date of implementation. So you have to be specific about explaining clearly the program or activities that carried out to serve and engage families of the children, and to get the results and the benefits of those activities with the families. Again, the nursery is required to provide written or illustrated evidence of to confirm implementation. Measure the satisfaction of the parents. Based on the communication that the nursery built with the families, as well as the engagement that they have been putting them as a participant in the nursery, and a key point to develop the nursery provide evidence of its regular assessment of the satisfaction of parents, and the tool used for this purpose, such as surveys, questionnaires, observation sheets, and etc. Of course, the range are wide of the used tools to measure the satisfaction of parents. Involve parents in the planning and performance improvement and services development. The participating nursery should offer 6 areas of partnership with parents and the aspect of development that have been accrued and its results in improving performance and developing the services provided by the nursery. So basically involving the parents to be, as we mentioned, a key partner in developing and preparing a plan for the best of the nursery performance improvement and service development. Standard number 7, and I believe this is the last standard, community responsibility. Channels of communication with partners and related institutions. Nominated nursery is required to have 5 communication programs and its activities carried out with the results of those programs determined. So any participation of any of the partners around in the society. So 5 communication programs will be the requirements. Again, the evidence of channels that has been used to communicate with the partners, with the society, with the local businesses will be dated and approved to be submitted as evidence of implementation. Community partnership for improving and developing nursery services. Of course, the nursery is in the surrounding of the nursery. There's so many, the community, the society, the local businesses, the institutions that involve in childcare and child rights. So the nursery is required to have 3 partnership and aspects of its development of the nursery, and the resulting consequences and benefits achieved by the nursery as a result. So again, the examples of the evidence to confirm the implementation is any of the mentioned memorandums of understanding, concluded by the partnership agreement, a copy of the membership of the relevant associations, for example. Moving to this point, implementing the participating in incentives launched by UAE government. So the candidate nursery is required to determine the incentives and the method of participation and explain the impact on children and society. The last point will be measuring partner satisfaction. The nursery provides evidence of its regular measure of partner satisfaction and the tools that has been used for this purpose, such as survey, questionnaires, observation cards, spreadsheets. The nominated nursery is to specify how to use the results of the analysis in the development of work in the nursery and the provision of better community services. Mainly, we covered the 7 pillars, the 7 standards for the requirements for the nursery forms. This is the website that you can find all the terms, conditions, the general terms and conditions, the specific one to the outstanding nursery category, as well as the form of application. It's www.award-sharjah.ae. I highly appreciate your attendance. We can open the space for any question, for any inquiry from the audience.
Hello.
Hello, yes?
Yeah, hi. Yes, thank you very much for the workshop. It's really a lot to take in, so I'm glad that it's been recorded. What I wanted to know is the evidence that you required, is it from the past 3 years? The reason I'm asking is that, remember, for the past 8 or 9 months, we have been closed. So this year, it could be a little bit different. Therefore, I'd just like to sort of have that clarified.
Thank you for your question, Ms. Roxana.
You're welcome.
So basically, the 3 years that are required is not within the same year of, this is prior to the same year of the award.
Okay, so it's the past 3 years as before this year that we're working on now.
Until the beginning of this year, actually.
Okay,
so then 2 months, I would say.
Okay, so any safe plans or anything that we have been implementing and had to change because of the pandemic, can they all be included in this?
I believe that you have to stick to the 3 years prior to that.
Because they were done, okay, so you're talking about before September.
Yes.
Okay, that clarifies that. Great.
Any other questions?